Hello and good day to you. You're once again welcome to MS Construction. So I'll discuss all things engineering, architecture and 3D modeling. Today, we'll be learning in Blender how to draw a screw. And in order to draw a screw, you're going to start by bringing in a circle. So you can import a circle by going to Mesh, bring in a circle. You want it to be 16 vertices. By default, it usually comes as 32 vertices. Now we're going to be going into our edit mode. And I turned on my measurements, but I'm going to turn it off right now. And I also want you to be able to see what I'm working on, so I'm going to go on to turn on my screencast keys. You can see what I'm working on. And what I want to do now is I want to give it a face. It's going to be the top of our screw, and once I give it a face, I can bring it up and take it up to like let's give it 3000. My unit of measurement is in millimeters. As you can see, I changed it right here. Now I have the metric system, and you can see right here the length is in millimeters. You could change it to meters or kilometers or adaptive. So now I want this to actually be extruded, so I can give it an extrusion of, let's say on the z-axis, I can give it an extrusion of minus, let's give it minus 50. What I want to do now is I want to create the recess on top of this place where, if you're going to be using a screwdriver, it's going to fit in. And I could actually design straight up, or I could just design the edges of my recess to be straight up rectangular, or design it to be, fitted for a star screw. So I'm going to try to do a star screw right now, and in order to do that, I can just click on all these, and duplicate. Let me duplicate these by 500, and I'm going to be separating the duplicates. And you see, creates this circle, and turns it to circle 001. You could rename that. You could also use it. So I'm going to go into that. I don't need the faces, so I'm just going to delete only faces, and I'm going to go to edge vertex select like that as shown. Then I want this to be off so that I can properly work on this, and I go to my viewport and my plan viewport by going to my numpad 7. And what I want to do is I want to connect these edges in a way that will make me to be able to get my star screw shape on point. So I can also subdivide this. So subdivide, I'm supposed to subdivide that by 2. So I'm gonna go like that and click on this. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to clear the edges so that I can subdivide it by dissolve vertices. So now I have this. So I want to subdivide twice. So if I go to so let me click on this and this again. Now subdivide twice. So now what I want to do now is I want to allow to have something like this. It comes here and 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 goes and comes here and comes here. So now in order to do that, what I need to do is I need to check. As you can see, this is properly positioned, so I don't have a problem. My y-axis is right, or my vertices are right on top of my x and y-axis. In case you don't have that, you could just rotate your circle and make sure that it's aligned with the axis, because it makes it easier to edit. Like now, I want to move this particular vertex to the top of this place, and I could just do that by moving manually. So let's try to move manually. So move along the x-axis by, and you see this is something around 75, so I just press 75 minus and put it there. And I take this and this to and move around x-axis. Let's press 75 and we have it there. Then this, you see that this and this are quite problematic, so I need to actually dissolve these edges. and then I'll dissolve the edges, the vertices, sorry. Yeah, dissolve the vertices, then I'm going to subdivide them twice. Subdivide them twice, and I go back to my vertex select mode, and I want this to actually also move, and you see that on the y-axis is going to be around 75 as well, and this also 75 as well, minus. So now I have all these, you know, and go to my X-ray mode, and I click on everything because I want to join everything. I want to merge all the vertices together. So I'm going to merge all of them at center. I can merge all of them at center. I'll go here, click everything right there, and I'll go and merge all of them at center. I'll do that the same for this. Click everything and merge all of them at no, not that. I'll click this first. So X. So okay. So merge all of them at center. And I go here and click and merge all of them at center. So now what I need to do now to get my shape out of all this is to click and click and click and click what I want. So this is what I want from this. This is what I want. So I'm clicking all the vertices that I want, and I'm going to duplicate it right now. Shift D. So I can duplicate it on the z-axis by 500, and once I duplicate that, I can now go out of my numpad 3 mode or numpad 7 mode, and then I click on everything, then I click out this so that I can delete the circles and deleting vertices. So now I can now go here to edit this, because I don't need, there are some things I don't need here, like I don't need this, I don't need this, so I'm going to just delete those edges. I don't also need this, I don't need this, so I'm going to delete those edges. So now I have this, and once you see that I have this right now, and I want to check if my edges are well aligned, you know, just to make sure that all my edges are well joined. As you can see, I think it's all right. So now what I need to do now is I need to take this and click on everything, then I can extrude this. Let's extrude it and give it an extrusion of 200. Yeah, so let's go back to our solid view mode, and you can see that we have something like this here. So I'm going to also give this a face underneath it, because it's going to be what is right on top of our screw surface. So now we can enable this right now, and I could take this, you know, and then I could take this and move it down by 1000 or by 500, right? Move it up by 500 minus. Okay, I think we moved it up by 1000. Let me give it 1000. You see that it's just resting on top of this right now, but we are not seeing it. So let's scale this. So I want to scale it on the x and y axis. So s x z. S x then z 1.5. Yeah, that's what I want to achieve. So as you can see that we are no longer seeing this circle. Let's call this screw head. We're no longer seeing this screw head here, but we need the screw head to be seen. In order to do that, you can use your Boolean modifier, and use your Boolean modifier on this, on the screw itself, on the main screw head itself, and not the screw recess. So let's name the screw head recess, so that I will not confuse them, and the main one is actually screw head. So now let's go right here to modifier, and let's add a Boolean modifier. And in Boolean modifier, you're going to have to choose your target object, which is screw head recess, and here we can choose union screw head. So that's object fast, so we need to change that to fast, and once you change it to fast, you can see that it's coming out the way it's supposed to come out, and then you have your screw head right here. So you can also always adjust this, so I can scale it down both x and y axis, you know, So let me just scale it by 0.8. Yeah, so you see that I have something like that working there, and I have this screw head on top of this place, which looks very good. So I can decide to say I want to move this part. I want to move this part apart. I want to scale this, make it bigger. So that's x and y axis. So I can give it 1.2, and I can also do the same thing for this, and scale it s toward the x-axis 1.2. I can see that we have this. So you could also go ahead to, you could just straight up add a Boolean modifier, apply it, and you could go here to bevel this. So I usually prefer to bevel each and every one of my edges, manually before I go on to bevel it the other way around. So let's give this a bevel of, let's give it 50, and let's give it like 3 segments or 4, and let's do the same thing for the Honda too. Ctrl V. So let's give it a segment of 4, and let's give it 50. So when you go back to your object mode, you see that it's looking really very cool. So this is just how you create the top surface of your screw, and you could also go on to edit this by, if you choose to collapse this place completely, like let's say you want to choose to collapse this place completely so that it becomes straight, you can just do that, by doing just this. So that's 0.75, also 0.7, 765. You could actually move it manually, so but I'm just choosing to do it this way. And you could actually not even draw something that is actually like this, SSX, that's 0.765. So you could have that, and then you could take the whole thing and then you could actually scale it down. Most of the time it's always good for you to scale, you could scale on the x-axis. Let's see, you scale by 0.8, then you scale on the y-axis too, 0.8. Then you can now take this point, and pull them apart to make your screw longer, to give this 1.2, let's say 1.25. You can give this 1.25 as well. X 1.25, and see that you have a different shape entirely. So now what is left now is to draw the thread of your screw.